All right. My name's Anna. I'm the communications coordinator for SEBA. I studied abroad with the Tropical Conservation Semester Program in 2024, so 2 years ago. And yeah, it was like the best experience of my life. And I ended up working for SEBA because I was just so impacted by like the on the ground conservation work that they do. Like what Lily said, it's so true that like all all the funds and all the revenue generated from study abroad goes directly back into the programs that you are like seeing and working with. So it's really impactful and awesome. And yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you, Anna. Yeah, so like Anna and Lily said, this is a CEIBA is a foundation that works on mainly conservation in Ecuador, and they have a lot of experience in both research and also in education. So I have been collaborating with them since 2022. It has been great for me. It's been a pleasure to do this program in collaboration with SEIBA. So I'm really happy to be offering this a new iteration of the program in the winter, in the coming winter. Okay, so welcome everyone. We're going to cover these points today during this session, and we'll have time at the end for questions. But if you have any question, any pressing question that you might have throughout the presentation, do not hesitate to ask. Okay, you can just ask, use your microphone and ask, or you can type it in the chat box. We'll be monitoring that. So um, whenever you have a question or need some clarification or whatever, just let us know. Okay. All right. Some quick facts about the program. The duration of the program is 3 weeks. So this is a hybrid program. It's going to be the first week, 6 days, is going to be online, and the online part is gonna go from December 21 to December 30th. Okay, we're not gonna be working all that time, all those days, but we're gonna be working pretty much from December 21st to the 23rd, and then from December 28th to the 30th. Okay, so obviously you have time to celebrate Christmas, New Year's with your family, friends. So we won't take that away from you. And this online part is going to be, we're going to have synchronous and asynchronous activities. Okay. So some of the activities will meet online, some lectures, some presentations and discussions, but others are asynchronous, so you can, complete them at your convenience in your own time. All right. And then the field part of the program starts on January 3rd. That's when you guys have to arrive in Ecuador. And that part of the field part of the program will go until January 17th. Okay, so we'll be 2 weeks, 14 days in the field. In Ecuador, we'll visit different locations. We'll visit the Andes, we'll visit the cloud forests, and we'll have an extended stay in the Amazon basin. This is a service learning program, right? So we one of the main aspects of this program is the interaction with the community members, right? With local people. We work a lot with community members, also with students, high school students or elementary school students. So we do a series of activities, and that's to promote this service learning component of the program. Of course, throughout the program we have interaction with local people, be them researchers or city workers and everything in between. Okay. At the end of the program, we'll have you'll have to do a research project. So it's a short research project, 3 days, 4 days, but you will have to design that and carry out that project on your own, right? Obviously, you'll have our assistance, our guidance, but it's your project, so that's something else. another aspect of the program that many students are attracted to. And then, like I mentioned before, there'll be plenty of opportunities for cultural immersion. If you, um, Spanish, learning, knowing Spanish or speaking Spanish is not a requirement for this program. But if you do speak Spanish and want to practice, there'll be plenty of opportunities to do that in Ecuador. Okay. I want to show you a short video that Anna prepared for our program. And let me know if you can hear it. Ecuador, cielo y tierra sin igual. Ecuador, ritmo natural. Baila conmigo bajo tu sol. Tropical, world, cha, cha. Desde Quito hasta Guayaquil, cada ciudad guarda un perfil. Volcanes que tocan el cielo azul, selvas y ríos llenos de virtud. Galápagos, hogar de maravillas sin fin. Fauna y naturaleza que me hacen sentir. Gente amable, tradición y color. Ecuador vibra y late con amor. Sí. En la altura siente el calor, Ecuador. So that was
This,
sorry.
I'm sorry, this video is also on our Instagram if you want to look at it there. It might be, I don't know if it was like kind of lagging for you guys, but yeah, you can see it there too, along with other study abroad material. So,
Yeah, thank you, Anna, for making that video. Okay, so what makes this program unique? Mari, want to jump in and see and give us your perspective of how unique this program was for you?
Yeah, this program really like catalyzed my interest in like community engagement and outreach, and community-based learning and programs, projects. I know the program has changed a bit since I was attending, so I can't speak to all of the different agenda items that you will have and experiences. Um, but this program really fueled my interest in public health, and that's what I'm studying currently in a master's program. But this program is not just if you're in global health or public health. I think there's a lot of opportunity to gain hard and soft skills in environmental health and just general interest in community engagement. I really enjoyed the research project. There was opportunities. I think we presented 6 months or a year later at the UW-Madison Global Health Research Symposium. So even though it's a short amount of time, I've had meaningful experiences in the years following this program and meaningful connections that I've made on this trip. Made some lifelong friends, which is great and amazing. Usually it's a kind of smaller group, a more intimate setting, which I think offers a great opportunity to learn more in that space. Um, yeah, really can't recommend it enough.
Mhm. Thank you, Mary. Yep, all those good points, and we'll probably go back to some of those here in a moment. But yeah,
Totally.
like Mary mentioned, first of all, this is it's mainly a global health program. This is, our main focus of the program. And as being a global health program, what we try to do is to understand the health issues from a developing country perspective, right? Because as you know, probably some of you, or maybe most of you, are doing the Global Health Certificate program at UW. So as you know, global health, has to do with, um, you know, seeking health for, populations around the world, and also studying, transnational health issues, right? So it's one thing studying global health here in the States and, just looking at texts or papers or things like that. And a different thing is going, to a place where those health issues and, the challenges are, right? A developing country such as Ecuador just provides that, that special opportunity to be totally immersed in the issues and the challenges of that people face regarding global health, right? Uh, as I mentioned before, this is a service learning, so there is a lot of opportunity to work directly with the community members and on real water and health challenges. And as I mentioned already before, there is opportunity to do, even though it's a short project that you do at the end, it can be very meaningful, right? Not only for you, but also for the people, the local people that will be working with, right? Many of those people, don't know much about water, sanitation, and waterborne diseases, things like that. So giving them that knowledge, sharing that knowledge with them is pretty rewarding. Okay. Uh, all right. The academic experience, how this course is going to be structured. Okay, so we'll have interactive lectures on water, on health, sustainability, and like I mentioned before, in that first part of the program, the online section of the program, we'll try to cover most of these lectures, just so we can get them out of the way. And once we are in Ecuador, we can do more of the other stuff, right? Going to the communities, talking with people, and like immersing ourselves in the issues and the challenges over there, right? We'll do fieldwork in communities. We'll do hands-on service learning. You'll do your research projects, and we'll have some cultural site visits as well. That will be very, very important. Okay. So these are some of the things you will learn by the end of the program. Okay, you'll understand global health challenges, visit ecosystems that provide water, investigate water-related diseases, monitor water quality with local communities, and develop your research skills. Like I said before, if you know some Spanish and want to practice more of that, you'll have plenty of chance to do that as well. And for doing all of this, you're gonna earn 3 academic credits through University of Wisconsin, okay? So Ecuador, I don't know if anybody has been to Ecuador before, or South America for that matter, but Ecuador uh, is the one of the smallest countries in South America. It's on the Pacific coast. We have about 18.5 million people living in the country. And your journey through Ecuador is going to include the Andes that I mentioned before, the mountains, right? The mountain range in Ecuador. We'll visit Quito, the capital of the country. We'll visit a special ecosystem called Páramo that is very high up in the Andes. And then we'll visit a touristy place by the end of the program, just north of Quito. We'll visit the cloud forest. Okay, it's a misty mountain forests on our way to the Amazon, and we'll have our extended stay in the Amazon tropical rainforest in a city called Tena. Okay, so you'll get to experience multiple ecosystems and settings. Yeah, like I mentioned, we'll be high up in the Páramo. We'll visit the cloud forest, the Amazon rainforest. We'll visit indigenous communities, and we'll do a lot of working both in urban and rural settings. So you have, we'll try to give you a whole, uh, vision of the country in a relatively short period of time. Okay. So these are the places. This is a map of Ecuador. As you can see here, we have the coast, coastal plains to the west. We have the Andes that cross the country from north to south, and then we have the Amazon basin. And this is the upper Amazon basin, technically, right? Where the Amazon basin starts and goes all the way to Brazil and to the Atlantic. And the Galapagos Islands, obviously, are part of Ecuador. And we'll start our journey in Quito. You have to, like I mentioned before, you have to get there on January 3rd to start the field part of the program. We'll do some activities in Quito for the first 4 or 5 days. Then we'll make our way down to the Amazon. We'll make a stop at the cloud forest near Kosanga, is the name of the little town over there. And we'll spend the rest of the time, about 6 days, in Tena. Once we finish our activity in Tena, we go back to the Andes, sorry, to, to a city called Otavalo, which is a touristy city and where, will reach us the end, the debriefing of our program. Okay. All right, so Quito, this is where we start our journey. Quito is the capital of Ecuador. It's not the largest city in Ecuador, though. The largest city is in the coast. It's called Guayaquil. But Quito has about 2.7 million people right now, so it's a big city. It's a cosmopolitan city. And one of the main attractions in Quito is the old town. In the old town in Quito, the colonial town, the colonial part of the city is said to be the largest and the best conserved in South America. So it's pretty cool to go here and see these churches and buildings that are like 400 years old, still in really good shape. Okay, so in Quito, we'll visit some water plants, water treatment plants, to understand how the water is distributed to a huge city like Quito. It's not huge as New York, but it's a big city. So we'll talk with the people there, the technicians, and visit install the facilities and learn how the water is treated, if there is any difference from how it is treated here, how this is distributed to everybody in the city, and so on. So we'll do that. One of the activities we'll do in those first days in Quito. We also have day trips. One of the day trips goes to the Páramo. So we go higher up from Quito. And this is pretty much where most of the water comes to Quito. Okay, this is a natural ecosystem where water gets retained and then released slowly, and the authorities in Quito have made great use of this ecosystem. There is a lot of conservation efforts because this is where the water comes from, so they have to be very careful with this. Yeah. This is Caitlin, one of our ex-students, also taking samples. And another thing we'll do in Quito is to go to a microbiology lab where we'll do some tests and analysis of water samples that we take. We'll be working with San Francisco University, is our partner university in Quito. We'll have lab access there and people helping us with analysis and all of that. So if you don't have previous experience in lab, that's not a problem. Here's where most people get their first experience in lab work, and so it's a great way to do that. So this is what we do, doing the analysis of the water samples, different microanalysis. And then at the end of our stay in Quito, we'll make our way to the Amazon. We'll stop at the cloud forests. This place also a very unique ecosystem, very humid, that also provides a lot of retains and then provides a lot of water for the population. Okay, we'll do some activities there. Canoe ride, that was a favorite of the students last year. And we'll finally arrive into Tena. So this is it's a very old city that was founded by the Spaniards when they were making their way to South America. And as you can see back there in the background, you see the Andes, right? So the cities in the foothills of the Andes, in the upper Amazon. It's a very, very nice city. It's not a huge city. It's small city. Very quiet, very calm, very safe. And then we'll stay there for 6 days, and we'll do most of our interaction with community members, with local people, will be in this area. We'll do water quality monitoring with local communities. That's always something that is very rewarding for the students, that interaction with the local people, sharing with them the things we do. the things we've learned in the first week, and just sharing with them all of that. Okay, so more different activities, some hikes, some depending on where we go. Some villages have to take water from far away. They don't have water available in their houses, so they have to go sometimes far away to get the water. And sometimes we accompany them in their journey to get the water, and with examples and all of that. So, like I mentioned before, we also interact with school children, which is a good way, if there is research showing that if you want to a message, especially a public health message, if you want that message to go to the families, the best way to do that is to do it through children, right? Especially fifth grade children. So that's what we try to do. Okay. And we also try to, every time we go, we try to visit, we try to visit a health center, be that a hospital or a smaller health center like this one. We do that for students to compare, right? Compare and contrast how health services are in a developing country like Ecuador and here in the States, right? So obviously there's a lot of differences, but many people don't know what those differences are. So we try to expose students to that reality, and so they can compare and contrast. Not everything, nothing is perfect, right? So there is no better or worse. There are good things and bad things in both sides, but that's why it's important to compare and contrast. Okay. Also, when we are down in Tena in the Amazon, we'll have another school that we collaborate with. This is called IKEM University. IKEM is a Shuar word. Shuar is one of the groups that live in the Ecuadorian Amazon, and they have their own language. So the Shuar the Shuar name is IKEM, which means forests or jungle. So we have some collaborators there, some colleagues that collaborate with us. So same thing, we can use the facilities there, the labs, and also help. We get help from professors and from students there. So it's a good interaction also with other university peers for our students. This university is pretty cool because it's very much in the middle of the jungle, right? The campus is not quite big, yeah, but it operates adjacent to a very large ecological preserve. This preserve has about 200,000 acres, so it's pretty cool that they can just go next door and do all the research they have to do on conservation and hydrology and whatnot. So we're happy to collaborate with them. And when I think Maddie mentioned this, but when you finish your research project, you have to do a presentation. The presentation is usually for your peers, for your classmates. But the last year we open it up for other people. We had professors from Michigan University joining, students from Michigan University, and some other people also from the community. So that was pretty cool. It was a really good interaction. Mari, can you tell us something about your experience with the research project?
Yeah, so there was two research groups in my short-term study abroad program. One focused on drinking water quality, whereas my group just focused more on water used in other capacities, laundry, dishes, etc. And it involved interviews with community members, testing of local water sources. We were in the coast, so I think concerns might differ from mountain regions to coastal regions, just depending on the communities and what concerns or environmental hazards might be present. But it involved, I think, 5 days of interviews with community members across different towns, different water testing of different sources. And then we compiled our results and to a report with tangible recommendations for community members on how to best use their water sources to prevent illness, which was really cool. And I mentioned before we got to present this research, me and one of my other group mates at the research Global Health Research Symposium in 2024. So that was a great opportunity. I think this project, this work is grounded in creating accessible solutions for community members. So yeah, happy to answer any questions. It's getting further and further back in my mind, Mauricio. 3 years. I'm really, I'm grasping at straws here to remember.
No, that's great. Thank you, Maria. That was a great recount of what you did. And yeah, you mentioned again this the opportunity you had to present
Mhm.
at the Global Health Symposium at UW. So that's something that I try to encourage all my students to do. After we're done with the program, is to present at that symposium specifically because that's the best venue for us to present. And Mari and her classmate presented, and we've had I think every year we've had at least one group presenting. So
Yeah.
so it's been great to do that, and a good experience for you guys to do that, um,
Yeah. It's
and
a
all.
very unique opportunity to be
Mhm.
able to translate that work into a research symposium. Like that's a really awesome and unique opportunity that I was not expecting, but definitely was amazing.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's me as an instructor. That's something I particularly like to do. Is like the fourth circle. Right? You design your research project, you execute it, you present to your peers, and then you present in a bigger venue, right? Like the Global Health Symposium. So it's really good for you guys to do that. Yeah. So, like I mentioned before, once we're done with our activities in the Amazon, we'll go back up to the Andes and we go specifically to Otavalo, which is this little town north of Quito. It's a touristy town. It's very nice town, very relaxed, it's a nice atmosphere over there. Um, so it's the end of our program and we go there to decompress from everything. Okay. So your life in Ecuador, what's going to look like? So we take care of all these things, right? Take care of housing, of meals, your activities, obviously. The housing, it's always in local accommodations, which are safe and comfortable for you guys, and also convenient for the field work, right? We don't. Quito is not a huge city, but it's a big city, and also has a big problem with traffic, right? There is a lot of cars. The roads are not made for that many. We're not made for that many cars, so there's always traffic, and it takes a long time to go from one side to the next. So we try to, be strategic about that, when we select where we're staying. The meals, most of the meals will be traditional Ecuadorian cuisine, right? Fresh local ingredients. Dietary needs are accommodated, obviously. If you have allergies, things like that, obviously we accommodate that and make sure that you are safe in that regard. There are some activities that we do, extra curricular activities, if you will, that we do. We do weekend excursion. We do some cultural awareness activities. If there are community events, we try to participate in them as well. Like for example, one year that we were in the coast, there were, some group was organizing a bike ride, and they invited us, and it was really good to do that. So things like that. We try to, get as much involved as we can with the local community. And the language, I've been mentioning this, Spanish is not a requirement for this program. You'll have all the support if you don't speak Spanish. But if you do speak some Spanish and want to have some real world practice, this is the best chance to do that. Mari, anything to say about all these things?
I just want to say that, like, emphasize that like, you definitely don't need to speak fluent Spanish to have a successful trip and program. I took Spanish in high school. It was definitely more than a few years of practice. And if you've taken Spanish before, I feel like you kind of pick up on what's being said, contextual clues during the time. But I feel like most groups typically have some Spanish speakers, some non-Spanish speakers. We for sure had a full spectrum of no Spanish whatsoever to fluent in Spanish. So I just want to emphasize that, like, don't think that's a barrier if you don't speak Spanish. There are many tools and resources and people to help support you to have a successful trip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, Mary. Yeah, and just emphasize again that you'll have plenty of chances to do some cultural immersion and to interact with local people. That's a given in this program. Yeah. All right. Okay, your health and safety are our top priorities, right? That's has always been like that, has always been. That's our main priority. And to make sure you're gonna be safe and healthy before you go, we'll have once we know who's going, we'll start distributing materials and things to do. And one of those will be to recommend that you get a pre-departure health screening, right? And so you go to your provider and they'll tell you if you need vaccinations and whatnot. So that's something we totally recommend and, and are on top of for this program, right? We'll have a pre-departure orientation as well, where we cover a lot of things, from things to pack to, what to do and not to do when we're down there. So that will be pretty comprehensive. While you're in Ecuador, you'll have experienced on-site staff with you, will be with you 24/7. So in that regard, this class is going to be quite different from a class that you are used to on campus, right? Because you'll have your instructor, and we have also a TA that we will be with you 24/7, right? Um, so that's one of the things in this program. We have partnerships with local healthcare providers in case there is, some if you get stomach sick, which is something very common, then usually most people just let it go, don't take anything. But sometimes if you need to go to see a doctor, we know where to go. In case of emergency, knock on door. We've never had any emergency in this program, but if there was an emergency, we have all the emergency protocols in place. And also we have a team of SEIBA that is in Ecuador, right? They're located in Ecuador full time. So we rely on them for information and connections and things like that. Plus, Lily here, Anna, and myself, and other people from SEIBA also are always monitoring what's going on in Ecuador and just making sure we all are safe. Okay. In the program, we provide travel health insurance. So if you need to use that, if you need to see providers down there, that should be covered. We provide safe transportation. Again, we've knocked on door. We've never had any problem with the transportation, and safe and comfortable accommodations, as I mentioned before. All right. Okay. I want to pass it to Lily on the next stop, so she can talk more about the program investment and some other things.
Thanks, Mauricio. Yeah, so just talking about program investment and, pretty much once you're part of the program, what's included. So basically our motto is, I think, once you step into Ecuador, you don't have to think about accommodation, meals, anything like that. Just like focus on the experience and the coursework and learning with Mauricio and that amazing country. And, that said, so all instruction and coursework is provided, accommodations, there's a variety of hotels that you will stay at as you travel through Ecuador. All meals, snacks are included, and also in-country transportation from the airport all the way through until you get back to the airport, and leaving out of Quito. Our excursions and activities, health insurance. So we partner with UW-Madison, and so included in your tuition, there is an insurance plan that's quite all-inclusive, from providing, any medical care to emergency evacuations, things like that. And then also you have 24/7 support from both SEBA, but also kind of the full weight of UW. And just a few things are not included. International airfare is not included. You will have to buy tickets yourselves. We kind of see this as a way for, students to be able to fly from different locations, not have to coordinate. We just kind of set a date for everybody to arrive, and to start off the program. And then any personal expenses, for example, going to the artisan market in Otavalo, and some meals. I think, Mauricio, if you want to mention, I think on some of your free days.
Even in the free days, the meals are included, but if you want to get a snack when we go back to the hotel before dinner, things like that, or a drink or a soda or a pop, those things are not included. But you don't need a lot of money for that. Those items are very cheap in Ecuador. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and if you want to pass on to the next slide, I can talk a bit more about financial support. And, being a accredited partner with UW-Madison, or sorry, how to apply, and I'll move on to financial aid. So how to apply. So we, again, partner with UW-Madison for credits. And that application process requires two different applications, one through UW-Madison and then one through SEBA Foundation. They cover a lot of, the same material. There is an essay on each of them, but we definitely recommend recycling the material, the essay for SEBA. You'll have to submit your passport. If you don't have a current passport, you can fill out a form that says, basically before the program starts, I'm intending to apply for a passport. A recent transcript, any emergency contact information. And then once you've applied, again, that deadline is August 21st. We'll go ahead and review applications, and you should expect a response within, I would say, about 2 weeks. We try to do a pretty quick turnaround. And then from then on, preparing for the course with some orientations from, Mauricio, and just kind of a couple last enrollment tasks as you get ready to go down to Ecuador. And you can use myself as a contact for helping out with the application through SEBA. And then SEBA has an entire partners staff at UW-Madison who deals directly with SEBA programs. So Emily Wink is your staff member to contact at UW-Madison in the International Academic Programs Office. And they're always extremely helpful. They can help you from anything from applications to looking into scholarships. And so speaking of financial aid, I just included kind of a snapshot of, one of the pages of scholarships, and just, a sampling of all the scholarships that are possible and out there for you to apply for. And there's a QR code right here that'll go straight to the scholarships page for UW-Madison. There are both UW-based scholarships and also national scholarships. And again, our IAP staff can really help you to apply for it, kind of figure out, what fits best to you for this program. And I'll pass it off to Anna, who can talk a little bit more about some financial aid that we offer at SEBA.
So SEBA offers this Student Ambassador Scholarship, which I'm kind of the point person for that. It's a needs and merit-based scholarship, and once you're accepted into the program, you will be sent the application to submit. And it's $250 to $500 for 1 to 2 students. And basically, I would work with those students throughout the experience to collaborate on social media posts. Here's an example at the bottom of the screen of one that kind of blew up. It got 40,000 views or something like that, which is really exciting. But this is a good opportunity to get some practice with science communications, which is, if you're looking into any type of science career, this is a huge element of it. So it's a good opportunity for that. And then also just as far as tasks go for having to do a scholarship, like this is just a really fun one in my opinion. So yeah, that's one of the other funding or financial aid opportunities that SABA offers.
Mhm.
So I would say it's a pretty low key commitment, just collaborating on, a couple social media posts.
Yeah, it's super easy, and like depending on your workload, like it could even be just like, yeah, like you can make it a quick situation if you need to. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lily and Anna. Uh, just one thing that Lily mentioned, the passport. If you don't have a passport, just I would recommend that you apply right away. Just because you never know. Seems like it's taking longer nowadays to get it. So if you don't have passport, just apply right away for one. If you do have a passport, you have to make sure that is the expiration date is not. So the expiration date has to be at least 6 months after the day you arrive in Ecuador, in this case, right? So it has to be valid for 6 months after the day you arrive. If it's not valid after 6 months, then the passport is not valid. So you have to renew it. So if you have one, just check the expiration date. If you don't have one, apply for one as soon as you can. That will be my recommendation. Mari, any recommendation? Anything about applications and all of this?
No, I don't think so. It was a pretty quick turnaround for our year as well. I think there was a lot of scholarships available our year as well. Yeah, it's all pretty seamless.
Mhm. Thank you. All right. So like Lily mentioned, you have to fill out two applications, right? And here, and we'll send this to you after the presentation. But you have application for SEBA and application for UW. So make sure you complete both by the deadline by August 21st, right? And then just a quick recap of the program, right? The dates, the number of credits, and the things we'll do. Okay. What past students say, always um, student evaluations or program evaluations, I would say, are really positive. All participants have good things to say about the program. So we we are very proud of that, and we want our future students to experience the same thing and keep giving us positive reviews. Okay. All right. So we really hope you all can join us in December and January for this program. If you have any questions, this is the time to ask them. If you come up with questions later, we'll be more than happy to answer them. You can email us, either me or Lily, and then we'll be happy to help you and answer your questions or direct you to the people who can answer them. All right. Okay. Any question?
And you're
Hi,
also welcome to write in the chat if you would like.
hi, my name is Miriam, and I'm also a UW Madison student. Um, and so I guess like a question that I have, is there any like, do we need to like submit any like letters of reference or like personal statements, resume? I think I did see like reference on the application, but I don't think I saw like resume or like cover letters or anything like that or personal statements. But I just wanted to like double make sure.
Mhm. Lily,
Um, Yeah, I can answer that. Yeah, I know for at least on the SEBA side, we require just a transcript, your passport, or notification that like you will be submitting or applying for a passport. In addition to, we just have like one personal essay, basically telling us why you'd like to be on this program, and then we also ask for a couple of references. But no, as far as I know, I don't believe UW asked for a CV or a resume. I think they're pretty similar, where it's also a transcript, a personal essay.
Okay, and for the reference, do you know like the exact number? I think I saw two, but like
Mhm.
just wanted to double confirm because I know it was like a little like confusing, like navigating from UW to the SEIBA website, and yeah, I just wanted to double make sure.
Yeah, it's two. And yeah, our apologies. We tried to see if we can merge the two, but we have UW's had quite a bit of restrictions in the last few years, so we've had to separate the two applications. But wish we could just have you all submit one application.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, it's only two references, and yeah, like Lily said, that's we've realized that must be little extra step that probably is not quite necessary, but like Lily said, it's we still have to do that, and but you can pretty much same information can be used for both applications, so
Mhm.
that's not a huge deal. Um, One thing that I just remember is the one of the requirements for there's not many requirements for this program, but one of the requirements is that your GPA is 275 or higher, and if for any reason you don't have that minimum GPA and still want to apply, in the past we have considered that on case by case basis, so don't get totally discouraged by that requirement.
Thank you. Thank you both for answering that question. And I do have one more question. So, I guess like could go for the students or like the professors, like what they've noticed. I guess like what are some challenges that the students face while going on this trip, especially if it's like I guess their first time traveling by themselves and just like anything in general, any challenges when it comes to the course, when it comes to traveling, when it comes to like just anything.
Mary, you want to answer that?
Yeah, yeah, such a great question. And it can be a daunting experience to travel abroad by yourself, especially if you don't have like a airplane buddy. But I think most of the time, like, I think our group, like three and four of us like traveled on the same flights. I mean, like there's only if you're flying out of Madison, there's only a few flights that are gonna get you to Ecuador. So it kind of ended up being like you were with other program students as well. So like that's number one. I think a challenge, I don't think coursework or course load was a challenge. I understand that this program is changing, so I can't speak to like the hybrid nature and like the larger amount of credits that this program now offers, but like I thought expectations were clear and attainable, and the work was rewarding and meaningful and just kind of like right on, not too difficult, not too easy. um, and I think, I mean, me personally, I did get sick while I was there, and it was not the end of the world. It was a little bumpy. It was my fault that I got sick. I um consumed something I shouldn't have, and should have known better, but like it was fine. I got medicine, I hydrated, and everything was okay, but it can be a little scary to be like, you know, sick somewhere you're not familiar with, but the me goes to show that like the support was there, resources were there, people were there to take care of me, and it was all okay. So like really, even if something goes awry, like there's a lot of support around you, um, to make sure everything's okay. Did that answer both of your questions?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and like Mary said, one chances are you might have somebody else from the program traveling with you in the same flight.
Mhm.
But even if you don't, once you get to Quito, somebody will be waiting for you at the airport, and then you will be with a group the whole time you're there. You'll never be by yourself, so we travel as a group, we work as a group, and we do everything as a group. So there is no issues with that. And one of the advantages of a program of this program is that it's a short program, will be 2 weeks in the field. So if this is your first time, and you're testing it, see if you would like to do a longer one later, this is a good chance to do that, right? because it's only 2 weeks. So, and you're going to be with the group the whole time. And if you get homesick, it's only 2 weeks, so it's not a big deal. But if you like it, then you can go later on a semester program or a longer program. So.
Yeah, and I'll mention I'm a resource for you, during the flight day, I'm usually waking up early. Like I'm happy to talk with anybody at 5 a.m. if they're experiencing travel delays, things like that. I generally try to tell people if you have a buddy for your flight. And, not only myself, I'm monitoring things from the SEBA side, but we also have, the full weight of UW as a support network as well. And they have a 24/7 line to call in addition to myself.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm. Looks like we have a question in the chat. So how many students are accepted into the program?
So we do have a minimum because that's UW asks us to have a minimum, and that minimum is 8. But usually, what we aim for is like 10 to 12 students. So even if we get to our aim, it's still a small group. So um, you know, it's better to have a small group in this type of programs because you get more attention, from the staff, from the instructor, from the TA, and then it's also easier to interact with all your classmates. So the minimum is 8. We aim for 10 to 12.
Excuse me. Hi, my name is Ethan. I'm also from UW-Madison, and I also have just a few questions. First, starting off, this kind of goes back to Miriam's question about the references, and I haven't had the chance to really look at the application, so I apologize if this is clarified on there. But is there a specific reference that you value more than others? Like, would you value more from a research professor, a global health, a research PI, a global health professor, maybe someone that, you talk with like in cultural immersion, like are there specific like references that you would say prioritize more than others?
What we look for in the references is somebody that can attest to your fitness to go to do this program, right? Let's put it that way. Obviously has to be somebody you have worked with closely, who can, say, yeah, this person is mature, this person is responsible, this person is always on time, things like that, right? That's what we're looking for. We don't really, prefer a reference from I don't know, from a PI over a research professor or something like that. No, we just need somebody that can answer those questions for us. That knows you very well professionally, and can say that you will be a good fit for this program.
Yeah, and
All right.
I'd say we've received a variety of different references from, your professor that you had a most recent class with to a TA, to, somebody pulled their, high school boss as a reference. So we receive a whole variety, but I think, as Mauricio mentioned, somebody who knows you well and can speak on your behalf.
Mhm.
All right, thank you. My other question it has to do with like past study abroad experiences. So let's say you've had past study abroad experiences. Does that put you at an advantage because you're more like aware of like, how to live abroad, how to navigate this like the struggles and everything? Or does that put you at a disadvantage because you might consider people who haven't had the study abroad experience yet? And whether if it's a disadvantage or disadvantage, let's say it's an advantage, how would you go about, try and work that into your application to, stress, that you would be a good fit?
Lynn, you wanna answer that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I don't think there's an advantage to like having studied abroad before and applying versus somebody who's never studied abroad before. I think for everybody, this is still going to be like a unique experience. And everybody brings a unique set of values coming into the program. And, I think, this is going to be a new place for, I think, everybody who applies and new experiences. And so, we don't really look at, somebody who's gone on a study abroad program before versus somebody who has. I think we, generally treat them as an equal playing field.
All right, thank you so much.
Mhm.
Yeah, like Lily said, we want this to be a great experience for everyone, regardless of them having previous experience or not in study abroad. So, yeah. Any other question?
Oh, I have one more question. So I did hear that you guys tried to like stop at like healthcare centers. Is there like I guess just like I was just wondering like what healthcare professionals do you guys specifically talk to, or does it vary by the year? Or yeah, just what healthcare professionals do you guys usually keep in touch with?
It varies actually by the year, but like I said in presentation, it depends on whether we go, right? We can go to a big hospital, right? So if we go to a big hospital, we have a lot of like specialties, maybe, right? Different specialties and different people working there. If you go to a smaller one, then obviously it's gonna be that's gonna be limited to to couple or three specialties. Mostly it's gonna be basic health services. Um, but besides, what type of specialists we talk to, we try to give students the whole picture, right? We always try to give them to explain to them how the health system works in Ecuador, right? It's different than here. So we go from that. So we start how the health system works here. Is it private? Is it universal? And then we go from there we go and see what specialties they have in that hospital. We can visit the areas if possible, and then it's just an open back and forth with whoever provider we have the chance to talk to, and as that's a great opportunity to ask as many questions as you have about health services in a developing country.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Any last questions? And again, you're always welcome to email myself, Mauricio, or we can direct you to, whoever is best to answer the question.
Yeah. Any final words, Maddie, for the prospective students?
I don't, I don't think so. Other than that, this is such a great opportunity to take rather than taking a 2 or 3 credit elective. At least, like that's what my situation was, like fulfilling my global health electives. This is far more meaningful than just being in a classroom.
Thank you, Maddie.
I do
Thanks.
have, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go for it.
I do have one more question. This is like regarding like the essays, like the mini essays that you guys have. So are there like I guess like I know that the writing center is a resource for like going over these essays, but is there anyone like else that you guys would highly recommend? Like I don't know if you guys have like kind of like your own writing center, and also like what are some like high recommends of do's and don'ts on these essays?
Let's see. So I think from I can't speak ever on fully on behalf of the UW, but I'm sure there's the Writing Center, and I would definitely recommend reaching out to Emily Links, who's our kind of our counterpart over at UW. We're a fairly small team here at SEBA, so you can definitely use myself as like a resource. or connect, possibly with an alumni to hear a bit more about their story. But I would say, yeah, I don't know, recommendations on essays. I think right from the heart, your experiences, why you think you'd be a good fit for this program, and what you're looking forward to. Mauricio, if you have any other suggestions.
Yeah, no, no, yep. I would say the same thing. I was going to ask Mari if she has any recommendation about this.
Yo, I don't even remember what I wrote. I don't remember who I put as a reference. So you should take that as encouragement that it is going to be a-okay. You just get out there and tell them about yourselves because you're all amazing and great and should be on this trip. And you just need to tell them that you should be.
Yeah, and I will mention we do ask you to speak on your experiences. And I would
Mhm.
say that each and every person here, has an
Mhm.
experience that they can apply towards the study abroad program and to this study abroad program.
Thanks for putting that so much more eloquently because that's exactly what I meant, Lily.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for answering that.
Yeah, and again, you're welcome to reach out, one on one, and I can chat a bit more.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. I do have one more question. This is
Mhm.
the last one. I did notice like there was like health like vaccine requirements and stuff. Do you like turn those in with the application or can you turn those in like let's say like after the application just because what if like your healthcare provider isn't like is booked out until like to like far, but like you will get those in before the travel date. Like can you speak a little bit more on that?
Yeah, you absolutely don't need to get any vaccinations before applying. And I would say on kind of the health end, we have like recommendations, but at the end of the day, every single person, has to follow their own health recommendations and what, their doctor is telling them. And so kind of going by, what is best for you to prepare for this trip. And so, we have, a variety we would recommend. And my guess is, your doctor or travel nurse would also have some recommendations. But at the end of the day, it's really up to you about, what is the best fit for your health journey as you go down to Ecuador. And I know UW does have a travel clinic that you can also go visit as well.
That's a good point. Lily, we don't have any requirement on vaccinations. We recommend some, and like Lily said, the only person that can do that is your healthcare provider, your travel physician. So, but we do recommend ones based on where we go, right? So I think last year, for example, we were going to the Amazon, and so for the Amazon, there's, for example, we do recommend having the yellow fever vaccine, right? Just because that's what you do when you go to the Amazon. But again, the the ultimate word on that has to come from your provider, from your doctor. But all of that will be after the application. So for the application, you don't have to worry about that.
Mhm. Yep. And thanks for sharing that application link, Anna.
Thank you.
Mhm. All right. Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining tonight. And again, you're always welcome to reach out, and we hope to see your name in the applications on August 21st.
Yep. Thank you very much all for coming tonight. And yep, we hope to see you in Ecuador. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, have a great evening.
Thank you.